It's about to happen. $19 trillion will be tokenized on the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger and XRP will make this possible. All of this has been checked and proven by a lot of different sources. This is why Ripple is looking forward to the huge increase in institutions using tokens on the XRP ledger. Also, let's not forget that this will result in one of the biggest changes in supply and money coming into the XRP ledger that we've ever seen. Here's where institutional-grade custody comes in at $19 trillion, and that number could hit $650 trillion by the end of 2033. It's because of this that people think XRP will be worth more than $2,953 by the first quarter of 2026 and more than $35,000 by 2030. It's even possible that XRP is backed by gold, since many central banks have been talking about it. Singapore, for example, released Singapore gold-backed and has decided to integrate XRP into a gold-backed system so that XRP and the XRP ledger can be used to buy and sell gold. It's a whole new market worth hundreds of billions of dollars, though, so let's not talk about it now. We are focused on the real estate, real-world assets, and tokenization market right now. This market is worth at least $650 trillion. Once more, though, we need to look at what's been going on the past few days. There have actually been many instances of expert price glitches when trillions and hundreds of billions of dollars were introduced. Some people think that these are not actually price glitches, but rather short-term test runs where huge amounts of money flow in a matter of seconds, causing the price to quickly go up and then go back down. Similar to what happened with Gemini when it was first listed, XRP prices went through the roof and reached $50 almost instantly. At $50, people could buy and sell XRP. Then they stopped all sales, reversed all sales, and said in a statement that this wasn't a price mistake. But instead, there wasn't enough supply. Because there was so much desire for XRP, there wasn't enough to go around. This caused the price of XRP to skyrocket to $50, and transactions did happen. XRP has gone up 42,000% over the last year. As you can see, XRP is doing very well. In the last 24 hours, it has gained about 23% in value, or $6.44 billion. The charts look great, and a big breakup is about to happen, which makes sense. In the same way, when you talk about adding $19 trillion in the next year or so, it makes sense that the charts would line up perfectly with the price of XRP going up to thousands of dollars by the first quarter of 2026, which is just a few months away. But let's really look into all of this knowledge. Look at what we're about to show you. The amount of $35,000 is no longer a surprise. In fact, it's more likely than we ever thought for XRP. This is an example. The head of one of the world's biggest and most well-known venture capital firms told me that these companies have risk management teams that look at things like that. The director of Ville Capital, on the other hand, told the public that they think XRP could hit a value of $10,000 to $35,000 per XRP once regulatory measures are in place and it becomes the world's global bridge currency. But let's not forget that Brad Carling, CEO of Ripple, has said in public that XRP is the only digital currency that can solve a multi-trillion-dollar problem on the scale of a global payments problem, which means that trillions or even hundreds of trillions of dollars go through every day. An interesting fact is that Arcax, one of the biggest hedge funds and payment processors, said they think XRP will help over $30 to $50 trillion be moved on the XRP ledger in the next 2 years. Again, these are very important organizations, and their leaders are talking about this in public. That's right, between $30 and $50 trillion will change hands in XRP in the next 2 years. But how is that even possible? There's no doubt that XRP is the most popular cryptocurrency in the United States. Banks, governments, and other institutions are now signing agreements to bring trillions of dollars into American cryptocurrencies, especially XRP, and the U.S. economy as a whole. To get those hundreds of trillions of dollars back, though, institutions need to build on the XRP system and open up a new market. One of these is RealFi, which is set to bring the world's huge $654.39 trillion real estate market directly onto the XRP ledger. This will, of course, cause a big supply shock for XRP and the real token that they use for transactions built on the XRP ledger. The real coin is now a big part of the XRP ledger. It is the most valuable coin for real assets on the XRP ledger. On the XRP system, it's the most important DeFi project. It's also the XRPL's most popular real estate project. It uses the XRP system and this token to make things possible. Most likely, though, you haven't heard of them. And by that, I mean they're not listed on a single market. Even though they don't have a mass marketing effort, they're going through the roof because they're solving a problem worth many trading dollars. And the size of the problem they're fixing, I mean, this is real usefulness while it's making that huge boom possible. It went from being worth 1/100th of a penny to being worth about 3 cents now. And I'm going to show it to you guys. We'll talk about it in more depth soon. But it's important to let people know that the time has come. RealFi, the organization that is building on the XRP ledger and using the Real token, has announced that it has started talks with several major blockchains to make the Real token easier to access. The Real token is the official reward token of the RealFi ecosystem and is built entirely on the XRP ledger. They also want to work with some of the biggest exchanges. In other words, this will go through the roof if the Real token is added to a central market. It's not a surprise because XRP Queen, one of the most well-known and respected experts in the crypto space, said in public that if only 1% of the $650 trillion market enters the Real token, that's nothing. That's a very low supply of about 22 million Phase 1 supplies. But if only 1% of the $650 trillion comes in, the price of Real token will go through the roof and reach $65,000. It's crazy. But once more, you need to look into it and do your homework. Like, look at this. Along with XRP, XEC, and XLM, the Real token got the highest mark. A score of 10 out of 10. Look at this. 3 of the top 3 holders low risk. The bank score is 100% and the KYC number is 100%. Again, TOA waltz are over. This is crazy, but 3,491. And this project is more than 2 or 3 months old. It's still very new, and they're not just on centralized markets. Of crazy, and the growth is crazy too. It goes up and up. Again, it's all because people see promise. It's a real project that solves a real problem worth many trillions of dollars. This isn't even near any major exchanges. This is based only on usefulness. That's why the noise is so high. That's why prices are going through the roof. It's because there isn't enough supply to go around, and institutions need it to make transactions in real goods possible. This really is a big deal. It's up 10%, and is based on the XRP system. Plus, there is very little resistance and a lot of help. I mean, this is really big, guys. It will never drop below this level again. At the moment, it's worth about 3 cents. The Real token is where the real value is if you want to find something new that solves a multi-trillion-dollar problem. Again, the gear has a huge potential because the price will skyrocket once it's on organized exchanges. Like any real estate deal that's listed on a single exchange, these are at least $50, $60, or $70 more than they were before. And they have, 100 billion or 200 billion in total stock. There are 22 million Real tokens in Phase 1, which is a very small number. That's the first one. The second thing is that this thing has a very low supply. So even if it only does $100,000 or $200,000 in daily transactions, the price will go through the roof. It could easily go through the roof and reach, again, not $60 or $70, but $3, $4, $500, or even $1,000. It might happen almost right away, or the price could go through the roof very quickly. There is a lot of potential, but you need to do your research because utility-based projects that solve a real multi-trillion-dollar problem and are innovative are what create generational wealth. Also, you want something that deals with real-world assets. That's where the real utility lies and where the growth lies. This is the project I've been keeping an eye on. Again, you need to look at the institution that is using and backing it. This is RealFi, a multi-trillion-dollar problem. I believe it's a large institution. They let you use the Real token to buy multi-million-dollar homes and to make money. It's built entirely on the XP ledger, and they're now having a huge giveaway. If you want to enter to win $1,000,